Hi, my name's Aiden,
And I'm Jake.
and welcome to History and Haunts. Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back.
On time this week.
That's right. On time. Wow.
I can't believe it. Well, actually, I can. We're normally pretty good about.
Yeah, I feel like there's only been, 2 times that's happened?
2 times we didn't publish an episode, and maybe 1 or 2 other times it's been late.
Yeah, but they're both for legitimate reasons, like scheduling purposes or if we're sick or not. You'll have to excuse our dog. She just got a bath, so she's all over the place.
And we took her bone
We had
because
to hide her bone in the closet because she just kept gnawing on it.
And she's so loud when she gnaws on it.
Yeah, look at she's looking for it.
And she throws it all around the house and slams it into walls.
It's only because the one time she threw it accidentally and it burst open and all of the nutrients inside of it, she just ate all
the
of
good
it.
stuff, all the good,
Well,
delicious
now,
filling.
She always drops it to try and break it.
And it's so obnoxious because we have tile floors, so it just clangs. And she throws it into the wall, and I'm like, you're going to break a hole in the wall.
Yep. And then we're going to have to pay to fix it.
And then you're not getting any bones anymore. Just kidding.
I was going to say, yeah, I'd like to see that happen.
No, she'll always get bones because she's cute. It's true. She's just staring at us right now.
She's looking for it.
Okay, well, enough about our dog. Today we are covering a very exciting place. Or I think it's exciting at least.
Yeah, you sound excited.
I am.
I could tell.
I just don't portray it. You should know this by now. So, we've all heard of the Bermuda Triangle, the place where planes and ships have seemingly disappeared into thin air.
Mm-hmm.
But have you heard of the Alaskan Triangle?
Never heard of it.
Never ever?
Never in my life.
Neither have I until I researched it, and now I've heard all about it.
Oh my God. You're the worst.
So, the Alaskan Triangle is located in a remote region near Juneau, Alaska. So, the Alaskan Triangle spans between Anchorage and Juneau in the south and
Utqiagvik.
I Googled that, so I hope Google is correct in the pronunciation, in the north.
You Googled it about 3 seconds ago, and you already had to go back to see how to say it.
For me, that is a complicated word.
Utqiagvik.
It's kind of fun to say, though. I'd like to go there.
Not really.
Just so I can say I visited Utqiagvik. The Alaskan Triangle is notorious for disappearances. It's
more than Bermuda Triangle?
I don't know how many have disappeared in Bermuda Triangle. But in the Alaskan Triangle, they've estimated that about 20,000 people have disappeared since the 1970s.
Are you kidding me?
No. That puts them at an annual disappearance rate of 2,250 people.
Who the hell still goes there?
I mean, it sounds like it's in a relatively... I mean, I know Alaska, it's pretty not populated, correct?
I would imagine so.
It's pretty rural.
Yeah, I think so.
But Anchorage and Juneau, I've heard of those places in Alaska, which means that they've got to be somewhat populated.
Is it a body of water or is it a land?
It's a land in between these towns in Alaska.
Interesting, man.
I know. There's lots of conspiracy theories around this place that try to explain why so many people have disappeared. The explanations range from electromagnetic disturbances to alien abductions to encounters with Wendigo, a man-eating monster.
What the hell?
There's claims of UFO sightings, ghosts, Bigfoot, and even the Yeti. Now, we'll get into these theories later as to why they think that the disappearances happen. And we're also going to go over a bunch of disappearances. But one thing I will say is that I don't feel like any one theory, except for one, can explain all of the disappearances.
And it's the Yeti, right?
No.
Oh.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. So the first disappearance that we're going to go over was in 1950, where 44 people on a U.S. Air Force plane just disappeared. Communication shortly stopped after takeoff, and they never reached their destination in Minnesota. Over 75 aircrafts participated in the search, but they never found the plane or any of the passengers. It's
You're
like it
kidding me.
just disappeared into thin air. Now, when I first was researching this, I was like, how the hell does a plane just disappear like that? But I was recently listening to Morbid Podcast, my favorite podcast out there, and they covered a plane crash, and I forget where it was exactly, but like this plane crashed in the Andes Mountains, I believe, and like a bunch of people went looking for it, and there was no sign of the plane, and yet these people like were there and alive. So I wonder if something similar was happened, but yet these people just didn't manage to escape, or they were all dead.
Yeah.
I don't know. Moving on. In 1972, Gary Frank Southerden disappeared during a hunting trip. They found a human skull in 1997, but because, technology and DNA wasn't super great back then, they didn't DNA match it to Gary until 2022. It's thought that he likely died after an encounter with a bear. Granted, I don't really know what the evidence is to suggest that he came and encountered a bear. I know I'm having a stroke right now. I'm looking out the window. I'm just having a distracted moment.
Well, listen, we got 8 pages of notes we got to get through. No time for distractions.
Good point. Let me focus. Okay, I'm focused. So I don't know what the evidence was that would state that he came encountered that he came into contact
Yeah,
with
this
a
is
bear.
my last podcast.
I think it's that sentence that's getting me. But maybe they saw something on the skull that made them think that. I'm not sure.
Sure, gotcha. I am following you. Let's go to the next one.
I'm not following myself, though. In 1972, U.S. Representative Hale Boggs and Nick Bejic also disappeared. What are you
This
laughing
is story
at?
number 2, and you already don't know
Yeah, I know.
people's names.
Whatever. So their plane disappeared. They searched for 39 days, and again, nothing was ever found. No plane, no body, nothing. They just disappeared into thin air.
Okay.
Crazy. In 1974, Sandra Lee Davis moved to Alaska from Utah. She was not happy with, I don't know, either living in Alaska or what was going on, so she served her husband with divorce papers. On August 30th, she left with no money, ID, phone, or even a car. Her husband said that she had done this before, so he and the kids assumed she would come back. He reported her missing eventually, and, like it always happens, he became the primary suspect.
Yeah.
But he passed a lie detector test. Granted, are lie detector tests really accurate? No. So, who knows if he was telling the truth? But I find it interesting that the kids also were like, oh, she does this sometimes. It makes me think that he was, in fact, telling the truth.
Yeah.
Her body has never been found, but she did leave an undated note, which could have been a suicide note. In 1978, we have the story of Amy and Scott Fandel. This one's pretty sad because they were only 8 and 13 years old, respectively, at the time of their disappearance. They were visiting their aunt along with their mother at a local bar. And can I just say, why were these 8 and 13-year-old children at a fucking bar?
Because it was 1978. Who gives a shit?
Good point. They probably didn't care back then.
No.
But like nowadays, I don't feel like you'd be allowed in a bar at that age. Are you?
I don't. Well, why would you bring somebody that age to a bar?
I don't know. Why didn't they meet up with the aunt somewhere else?
Maybe they're doing like a divorced parent swap for the week, and meet me at the bar. I'll be there.
I'll be there drinking my
Bring
sorrows
Jeremiah
away.
and
Oh my.
Isabella or whatever.
So the mom and aunt walked the kids home around 10 p.m. and then they returned to the bar. These people just sound like incredibly irresponsible parents. They returned home 4 hours later, so they stayed at the bar until 2 a.m. with their 8 and 13-year-old children home alone, and they found a pot of boiling water an unopened box of mac and cheese, and a can of tomatoes. The fact that the pot of water was still boiling makes me believe whatever happened sometime recently. Because don't you think in 4 hours all the water would have boiled off?
Yep, most definitely.
Yeah. All of the lights were out despite the kids being afraid of the dark. And the mom thought that they might have gone over to their neighbor's house. So instead of checking, which I was going to say I'm not judging her, but I am judging her because if your kids aren't in the house when you get home at 2 a.m., why did you she just went to bed and then went to work the next day?
She was probably,
Shit-faced.
shit-faced.
I just
Off of vodka Red Bulls and Jägermeister shots.
I just can't believe that she just went to bed with her kids missing. Like, what?
Times are different,
So the next day, she called the school from work and found out that they were not there, but her boss would not let her leave early. So she stayed at work.
And that's the day that I got fired because I left.
Yeah, again, why did she not leave to go see where her children, like, oh God, my kids aren't at school, but my boss says no, so I'm just going to stay at work?
Well.
I don't know. I just feel like, what the heck? This mom is making some questionable decisions. The children's bodies have never been found, unfortunately.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
What the hell happened to them?
So there's a couple theories, or one theory. The children's uncle implicated their estranged father, Roger Fandel. And he did this because an old girlfriend of Roger's asked their uncle for $5,000 in exchange for info about what happened to the kids. But, so maybe she knew, maybe she just wanted money. But again, no bodies have ever been found, and no one has ever been charged with their disappearance or murder.
Yeah, it seems like the mom might have done it then. Murdered them and never said nothing.
I know, because the mom just seems very nonchalant about everything. Like, oh, I'm going to take the kids to the bar to meet their aunt, and then, oh, go home, and I'm just going to stay out until 2 a.m., and then, oh, my kids aren't home, oh, well, let me just go to work. Like, I don't know why the mom wasn't a suspect. The uncle believes Amy is alive and living in either Alaska, California, or Montana while Scott was murdered. Not sure what makes him think that she's alive in one of those states, but that's what he thinks. In 1979, we have the story of One-Eyed Jack. Now, this story is unique because we have a body, we know what happened, but we don't know who he is. So this story you can't really say that any weird thing happened, but it was still an interesting story, so I included it. In September of 1979, Jack was picked up in Idaho and went along for a ride to Alaska. The driver told police he became annoyed with Jack, so he killed him and left his body on the side of the road.
What?
I know, like, what? You can't just kill people because they're annoying.
Yeah.
If that was true, I'd probably already be dead.
I was gonna say, and now you're incriminating yourself. You're gonna be going to prison here.
Oh God. The killer said that he had seen an Oregon driver's license and thought that it had said Jack or John. And I guess Jack had also told him that he lost his eye during a logging accident. Jack was 5'11" with long curly hair. No ID was found on the body, and there's been no success in tracking down who he is, unfortunately. I hope that they're still doing like the DNA for him and trying to match it to like distant relatives, because that happens all the time. Where like you won't know who someone is, and then like you match DNA to a distant relative and then find out. Like the boy in the box, I believe that's how they found out who it was, and the lady of the dunes also. They found out like that through relatives or something.
Okay.
So I have hopes for One-Eyed Jack that we'll find out who he is. The killer died in prison in 2003, by the way. In 1995, Erin Marie Gilbert was alive. And she was a 6-foot-tall basketball player who had lived in Alaska for 1 year. She met a man.
6-foot-tall basketball player.
Yeah, you got to be tall to be a basketball player. You can't be short.
Okay, thank you for letting me know.
I didn't tell you. At my brother's last basketball game, I guess his team was doing so bad that they stopped adding points to the other team. because there was just no hope.
Dude.
My mom said that he was the best one on the team, though.
I don't know sports, man. I didn't even watch the Super Bowl, okay? I have no idea.
Neither did I. What game was he playing? Was he still playing basketball? Remember, were you there when he threw the ball into the crowd?
No, I never been to a basketball game.
I swear you were there.
No, I remember you texted me, though.
My brother, I think we were at a basketball game again, and instead of like throwing the ball wherever you're supposed to throw the ball, he just threw it into the stands. I just couldn't stop laughing because it was so hilarious. Anyway, Erin Marie Gilbert probably doesn't do that because she's like an adult and knows how to play basketball. So she met a man and they went to the Girdwood Forest Fair as a date. What a fun date, just going to a fair.
Sure.
I don't really like fairs though, but maybe that's because we don't have any good ones here. The man told police that on the way back to the car, he realized his battery was dead, so he asked her to stay in the car while he looked for help, and when he returned, she was gone. He says he searched for her until 1 a.m., at which point he reported her missing. No body has ever been found, and he has also been cleared as a suspect.
Wow.
I know, isn't that weird?
That is so crazy.
I was reading the story, and I'm inclined to believe him that he was innocent. I don't know why.
I don't know, man. I don't know. People are crazy, man.
Next disappearance that we're covering occurred on July 4th, 1995. This one's sad because it was just a little old man named Leonard.
Okay.
Leonard Lane. He was a World War II veteran that just vanished. Literally nothing was ever found. No information, no leads, and no body. His case remains entirely unsolved, but he was declared legally dead in 1997.
How is that even possible?
I guess because no one had seen him. There was no signs of him.
Well, when did he go missing?
1995.
Oh.
So they waited 2 years, which seems kind of quick, but I don't know. Maybe he was old. Poor Leonard.
Who knows, man?
On June 19th, 2021, Thomas Anthony Newsy...
2001?
Oh, yeah, 2001, not 2021. Thomas Anthony Newsy was reported missing. He was a travel nurse who stayed within Alaska and just floated around that state. The last sighting of him is at a gas station purchasing cigarettes and snacks with a woman. Housekeepers at the hotel he was staying at reported a man and a woman in his room. His bike was found in a storage unit and his Jeep was found 12 miles outside of Anchorage. He, however, has never been found.
Yeah, he was murdered.
You think?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
By those people?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
I just can't believe how many bodies have never been found, how much lack of evidence there is.
Dude. Well, you know, look at this earth, man.
I'm looking.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the places you could hide, like, a body, man. Like,
yeah.
You know, you could dig a hole deep enough, you could dismember them.
Oh, getting graphic.
Listen, man,
now.
I don't know how to say this without sounding
weird,
just like a serial psycho killer, but I'm just saying, man, like that. I feel as though it could be pretty easy to do something like that,
especially back in the day, because now there's cameras everywhere.
Yeah, well, yeah, nowadays it would probably be hard, you know, but back in the day, man, there was nothing.
Yeah, no cameras, no DNA, like
no.
Probably you're right. It was probably pretty easy.
At the bottom of the ocean, they're not going down there.
No. On August 17th of 2000, Frank Minana was reported missing from Nanana. So, Nanana is in the center of the triangle, and this is where Frank was reported missing from. His family thought that he might have gotten lost in the woods, and authorities think he took shelter in a cabin after his first night missing, but there's no sign of him even to this day. He just vanished into the woods. Creepy!
Yeah, but it's Alaska, man. You know, you're not dressed appropriately.
I mean, he might have been.
It gets to like, what is it, negative 40 degrees plus probably.
It's probably chilly.
Yeah. And dude, it's just like Mount Everest. Like, oh, is it Mount Everest?
A really tall mountain.
Yeah, that people just die on, but they can't get the bodies down.
Probably.
I'm telling you freeze over, you're under snow, nobody's finding you.
Yeah, I
that's like, I just feel like that is, Alaska's the place where you're gonna die and no one's gonna find you. That's the place.
Or national parks.
Yeah.
You're right, though. Alaska's probably the perfect place to just disappear without anyone noticing.
Yeah. If you die in the woods, man, you're not. No one's finding you.
Even like in any woods, any forest, it's probably,
Well, not around here.
Yeah, you'll start
Hunters will find you.
stinking. You'll start stinking real bad.
Oh yeah.
Oh, maybe you'll get eaten by vultures or something. I don't know.
Probably. You probably would.
In 2006, Richard Griffiths was hoping to prove that his wilderness survival cocoon was worth it. But since he's missing, I don't think it is worth it.
No.
People thought he had been testing his cocoon, so they didn't report him missing for several months to a year since the last time he had been seen. It was found that he had taken a bus to White River and spent some time in a lodge and was never seen again. However, he had told people that he was going camping in St. Elias National Park. I don't know how close White River is to this national park, so maybe that makes sense, but either way, he wasn't where he told people he was going to be.
Yeah.
So who knows what happened. Another disappearance on July 4th, although this one's in 2012. Paul was running a marathon and was 200 feet away from the finish line. Think about that. 200 feet is not that far.
No.
Somehow between there and the finish line, he vanished. He's gone.
Are you kidding me?
Nope. 200 feet is not that far. That's like nothing.
So you telling me that guy ran like 26 miles?
To disappear in the last 200 feet, yep. It's thought that he might have gone off the path and into the wilderness, but state troopers, mountain rescue experts, and even search dogs could not find him.
That is crazy, man.
I just feel like really this man made it and stayed on the path for the entire marathon, but in the last 200 feet, he somehow wandered off the path.
Well, how do they know it was 200 feet?
Because people, they track where you are on marathons. Like, aren't there people along the way? I think there are.
I don't know. I weigh 220 pounds, so I'm not running a marathon, let me tell you.
I don't weigh 220 pounds, but I also will never be running a marathon just because running's not for me. But I thought this was a weird one, especially since the search dogs couldn't find him. Like, really, there's no scent of him? You know what I mean? Normally dogs can smell that.
Yeah, but if he's buried in snow, they're not smelling that.
I don't know. Dogs are great. And also that the mountain rescue experts couldn't find him. Like, these are skilled professionals that are unable to find these people.
Well, if he was eaten by a bear, you're not finding that.
I suppose you're right. I still am like, they wouldn't have seen or heard anything. I guess not. Moving on, 2013, Alice Foster. He was an experienced pilot and he disappeared soon after takeoff. He had about 10,000 flight hours logged. Despite this, his plane and him were never found. There was no indication of any distress prior to losing contact, but he did drop 1,100 feet in altitude prior to vanishing. I don't know if 1,100 feet in airplane is a lot, but it sounds like a lot.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
And it was significant enough that it was mentioned. I wonder if he, dropped and then crashed somewhere.
He might have.
Yeah. On October 11th of 2014, Jael Tiara Hamblin went out to dinner with her friend. They both returned home, but Jael decided to go out again. However, the next morning, her car was still in the driveway. 5 months later, her purse was found buried. She was
murdered.
I know, right? That's
100%.
like murder.
She was murdered. Yeah.
If your purse is buried, you're dead.
These all just sound like unsolved murder cases.
I suppose. I think a couple of them sound like true disappearances that are weird, and the plane crashes are odd.
Yeah, those, but I'm talking about these people disappearing.
Yeah.
Murdered.
She was never seen again, and no other evidence has ever been recovered. I wonder, if her friend did it. On June 3rd of 2019, this is the most recent one I have. Shayna Oman was visiting a friend in Fairbanks on June 3rd. Police were called on June 9th after she never returned home, and the last time her cell phone pinged a tower was on June 4th. Police dogs and helicopters were used in the search, but she was also never found.
Wow.
And June, I feel like it's probably warmish, right?
Mm-hmm.
So scents would be around, but nothing.
I don't know though. I feel like Alaska, it's always cold, dude.
I don't know. I'm
I don't
not
know
really.
much about Alaska, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
I was gonna say I don't really follow the weather in Alaska personally.
I watch a lot of Outdoor Boys,
Are
and they're
they
in
in
Alaska.
Alaska?
Yeah,
Okay. What are the outdoor boys?
I'll show you them. They're pretty cool. They're like, it's a dad and his sons who like do like camping in Alaska,
Oh, okay. That's cool.
and then he like bought his own little cabin in the Alaska and some property, and he's been fixing it up. And it
Oh,
just like brings you through his journey and stuff. It's actually really cool.
that sounds cool. I like it.
But he's like literally the last video I watched, like it was like negative 40 degrees one of the days. I was like, Jesus.
That's insane. I don't understand how people live in that. I certainly could
It's a
not.
lifestyle for sure, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. So that's all the disappearances I have to discuss. So let's move on to theories about why this place has caused or has led to so many people being missing. The first one is extraterrestrial activity, and this one is based on a 1986 report. A Japanese flight claimed to have seen 3 UFOs. At first, they thought they were military aircrafts, but soon noticed that they were being erratic and keeping pace with them. They followed the Japanese for about an hour before the Japanese reported seeing weird bursts of blinding bright lights. There's also been strange northern lights seen in the Alaskan Triangle, and they think that that might be aliens as well.
Okay.
I don't really know how I feel about aliens in general, so this theory's not my favorite.
Yeah, I don't honestly, I'm not too sure either. I've never really been interested in it,
Neither have I.
you
It's
know?
just
I just don't know.
it's just one of those things I'm like, if they're out there, whatever. Like we're probably aliens to other
Yeah.
life because
It's
we're on some random planet.
it's just hard to wrap my head around stuff like that. Like a UFO
It's
thing.
hard to wrap my head around that there's like galaxies that exist outside of ours, you know? Like there's like we are so small in the span of the universe. It's insane.
It is very. And we're paying taxes and having to pay our way to live on this world.
So I don't think about it too much because it makes my brain hurt.
Yeah, same.
My brain can't comprehend it. Now, this is my favorite theory because there's like, it sounds like there's science behind it. So this
Okay.
is a theory I can get behind. Energy vortexes, which are defined as spinning clockwise energy things that generate positivity, while the counterclockwise motion generates negativity and confusion. And here at the Alaskan Triangle, there is a biovortex. Biovortices are supercharged with electromagnetic energy. These spinning energy vortexes affect how humans feel and think. The vortices were originally plotted by Ivan T. Sanderson, a naturalist and paranormal investigator. He first used the term biovortices in his article, The 12 Devil's Graveyards Around the World, which was published in 1972. His interest and research in this topic began with his interest in the disappearances of ships and airplanes that seemed to be linked to the paranormal. He focused on 10 areas that were equally apart and where unexplained incidences and electromagnetic distortions had occurred. So the 12 locations include 5 in the Tropic of Cancer, 5 in the Tropic of Capricorn, 1 at the North Pole, and 1 at the South Pole. He theorized that the hot and cold air and the sea currents crossing these areas might create electromagnetic anomalies. In 1973, 3 Soviet scientists expanded upon his original grid, and they thought that a matrix of cosmic energy made up 12 pentagonal plates that cover the Earth. At the junction of any 3 plates, there would be unique properties resulting in advanced prehistoric cultures, unique wildlife, and mysterious phenomena.
Well, that might explain it.
This one I think sounds the most realistic.
Yeah.
And I just think this kind of shit is so cool because, like, it's like, wow, the world has so much going on. And, like, energy and whatnot. Crazy. So, the entire collection of vile vortices actually forms an icosahedron, which is a polyhedron with 20 faces. I used to like drawing geometric figures.
What are you talking about?
I know that sounds really nerdy, but like cubes, cubes?
Yes.
I think they were so fun to draw, like those little 3D figures, like figuring out how to make it look 3D on a paper. Super fun. Or like pyramids, also fun. I'm just a nerd.
Yeah.
The most famous of these is the Bermuda Triangle.
Ah.
And while not all are as deadly as the Bermuda Triangle, they all have losses attributed to them. Like the Alaskan Triangle, there's a lot of losses attributed. This is why I like this theory, because the energy fields have been confirmed with electrical readings, and reports state that compasses have been off by up to 30 degrees.
Oh, wow.
Which would explain how people get lost and are never seen again, because your
Mhm.
compass is just wrong.
Your what?
Your compass.
Your compass?
Compass.
Dude, it's compass.
Compass?
I've never heard anybody in my life say it like
Well, you've
that.
probably never heard anyone say orange like orange either, so.
Orange.
Orange.
Compass.
Compass.
Dude, say compass.
Compass. That sounds like take a piss.
You are an English American like myself.
Hold on, guys. We got to Google this to see who is correct.
Compass.
Damn! Damn, guys, he's right, but I'm not changing how I say compass.
You just sound like a fool.
Well, I don't like the way you sound when you say compass. Moving on. Lost my place.
I lost my appetite.
Volunteers searching for people that were missing often report feeling disoriented and even hearing things that aren't there, which would again explain why people go missing in the first place.
Yep.
This theory is supported by the fact that lots of these cases legitimately cannot be solved, and a lot of these disappearances occurred when people were just going about their daily lives. Alrighty, guys, so the final theory includes the Kushtaka, which is a Native American legend that stems from the Tlingit people. And I Googled the pronunciation, so if it's wrong, blame the guy on
Julian.
YouTube. Yeah, blame Julian on YouTube.
The creep.
He did
Julian,
sound a little
who
creepy.
needs to be in jail.
Okay. He might be a really nice man. So these people lived off the coast and have history going back at least 10,000 years, which means they might know what they're talking about. They believe...
Julian?
No, the Tlingit people. They believe that sea otters are actually shapeshifters who have evil purposes.
Auroras?
What?
Nothing.
I think sea otters are so cute, which makes it hard to believe that there's these big bad Kushtaka. The Kushtaka are a race of giants similar to Bigfoot, and they can shapeshift and stalk people.
Shapeshifters?
Listen,
no thanks.
I also don't have any opinions on Bigfoot or the Yeti, so again, I can't comment on this theory.
Yeah, those are literally, like, all these things are things I never think about.
Yeah.
Like Bigfoot, I don't think about Bigfoot, like, I don't care, Yeti or Kushtaka.
I know.
A transforming otter, you said?
Well, you have to think about it from these people's perspective. And I listened to this thing back in the day about why, like, all these mythical creatures existed, or people think they existed back in the day. And it's because they didn't have, like, science or whatever to, like, give them reasons as for why certain things happen. And so people like to know why things happen or, like, what things are. And so they would come up with these, like, stories and creatures as to why they were real. Like, what's that thing? The Loch Ness Monster?
Yeah.
There's evidence that that's really just a whale's penis.
What do you mean?
Like when a whale puts his penis out of the water, it looks very similar to a Loch Ness Monster. But people didn't know that back in the day.
Is that like that famous picture of the Loch Ness Monster?
Yeah.
It's a whale's penis?
It could be.
I'm going to have to look into that now.
You are. So, they came up with other theories as to why these things were happening. So, the Kushtaka, they show up to travelers who are lost or injured under the guise of being a friend or a relative or even a man. If it is a man, they typically ask you if you are lost or injured and state that they will help you. Which, if a man comes to me in the forest and is like, "Oh, are you lost? I'll help you." I'm saying no. Get away from me,
Yeah, I'm
because
gonna
he's
say,
probably going to try to murder
Chris
me.
Hansen. Yeah, I'm gonna need you over here now.
I'm going to say, "No, my dog, aka Callie, is not friendly, and she will bite you, so get away from
And
me."
the guy's gonna be like, "You talking about that dog over there taking a nap?"
Yeah, that one. She's not friendly. And also, if my family shows up in the woods and I know they're not there, I'm going to think that I'm going to believe this story and be like, "No, you're the Kushtaka. You need to get away." If I'm ever in
What? Like
Alaska.
if you're walking around Alaska and your mom comes over and
Yeah, and
hey, dude.
tries to lure me away, but I'm like, "No, I just talked to you this morning and you were in Florida."
Dude,
That'd be so terrifying.
I would be laughing. I'd be like, well, I have to murder this person now. Or
That's
I
why
have to murder my mom now.
That's why you would get eaten by the Kushtaka and I wouldn't, because I would believe this story and be like, "No, you're not my mom."
Did you not just hear me? I said I'm murdering my mom today.
Yeah, I don't know what happens if you.
If anybody approaches me in the woods, like, hey, you know, I'm gonna murder you. Get the hell
Remember
out
that
of
man
here.
who approached us in the woods?
Yeah, the guy taking a shit in the woods.
Yeah.
And then he walked over and wanted to shake my hand, and I told him to get lost.
Yeah, and then he wanted to give you a hug.
Yeah, and I gave him a fist bump.
He was a really weird man.
Eric, his name was.
Yeah,
he was walking the Appalachian Trail.
No, he was walking the Florida Trail.
No, he was walking the Appalachian Trail.
The Appalachian Trail is not in Florida.
Listen, he was walking the Appalachian Trail, okay?
Back to the Kushtaka. Once they gain your trust, they will actually lead you farther into the wilderness rather than getting you to safety, and then they will rip you apart. And the worst part is that you will also come back as the Kushtaka. I would make it through meeting a Kushtaka, because I'd be like, "No, you're a Kushtaka." And I believe these people, because I bet they've seen some shit.
And why am I going to die?
In 10,000 years.
Why am I going to die? Because I'm going to be like, "Oh, thank you, sir.
You might be.
Please lead me to safety."
You might. I don't know. Last theory. This one's pretty stupid.
It can't be any worse than the last one.
No, this one is. It's pyramids and portals, and that the government is hiding extraterrestrial pyramids that act as portals.
Well, the government is evil, so I believe it.
The government does all sorts of crazy shit that no one wants them to do.
Yeah, they tax us.
I'm not talking about taxes. But what's that place in Nevada? I think it's in Nevada that they don't let you in, where the alien crash supposedly happened.
Area 51.
Yeah. Why can't we go there?
Because it's a military base with military operations.
Oh, okay.
Being held. So what if there's UFOs there? Hey, I don't let people into into the fire station. Can I come into the fire station?
No.
No.
Well, my point is that maybe they are hiding portals.
No, maybe they don't want to be interrupted by a bunch of dickheads driving dirt bikes through the sand, thinking they're going to be cool and going into the Area 51. Let the people work, man. Let them do what they're doing. Who cares if they're hiding UFOs? Guess what? I'm not losing sleep over that.
Neither am I.
Cool. Cool for the UFOs. Great job. Find out where they came from and see if you can make them into vehicles, because I would love to drive one so that I can get to work in about half of a second compared to 2 hours.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'm all for it. What plutonium mine do we need to start? Let me know. Let me know.
I'm going to interrupt this tangent. We can continue this later. But the final theory is the least fun because it's reason and logic based explanations.
You're telling me portals are logical based?
No. No, this last theory that I haven't told you about.
Is this the Yeti?
No Yeti discussion.
Uh-oh.
So, they say that glaciers have a very brittle top that can fracture and create deep crevices, and they think that the missing people and aircrafts could have fallen into the crevices.
That's logical.
But all of them, every single missing plane and every single missing person, like that man that was 200 feet away from the finish line, he ended up in a glacier.
Yeah, open them up.
No.
It was his time to go.
Okay, out of all these theories, what do you believe? Do we need to refresh?
What was the first one? The electrical magnetic.
The energy vortices?
Yeah.
Vortices?
Or like, I don't know, coincidences. Like, look how many people died in our town today alone.
I don't know.
I don't know that, but I bet you at least 20 people died today in our city. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, but not because of random things. My bet is on the vile vortices because...
What is that?
That's the energy thing.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Because I think that explains the most disappearances. I think it easily explains all the missing planes. I think it explains the people that just disappeared. They got lost because the vile vortices make you confused. And with the exception of a few that truly sound like murder, I think it could really explain every single one of these disappearances.
Yeah, because if you're confused, like flying a plane, like you're screwed.
Yeah, or like, I don't know, just like the man that was 200 feet. I just keep thinking about that man that was 200 feet from the finish line. Like, he might have gotten confused because the energy finally got to him. Or the survivalist in his cocoon, like a survivalist went missing. So my bet's on the vile vortices.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Well, guys, you should totally comment and let us know what you think, because I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on the theories.
Sure, yeah. Let me know what you think about the acoustica.
Yeah, or the vile vortices.
I'll never look at an otter the same.
No, neither will I. I think they're cute.
I'll be thinking they're going to be acoustica.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I saw that otter waving me into this little dark cave at that last zoo we were at, too. I bet that was acoustica. I wanted to murder me in that little cave.
Oh my God, I know.
His little cup full of ice cubes. He was ready to tear me up.
I think they're just in Alaska. So, ready for the hint of the week?
I've been waiting this whole podcast for you to tell me.
Okay, hint of the week. We're traveling all the way to Australia.
Australia?
Yeah. R&R. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to anyone from Australia that's listening.
Yeah, I can.
What's that great show that's Australian? The water one? You know what I'm talking about, where they touch the water and they become mermaids? That's an Australian
show.
Yes. Great show. 10 out of 10.
How's the...
I'm trying to think of the song.
I can't remember it to save my life.
I also can't.
In the deep. What is it? I'm not fixing to sing it.
Sing it. I need to
as a grown man.
I'll cut it out.
You know it.
I don't know it.
You do.
I can't remember it.
The one where it's like deep blue underworld.
Okay. Moving on.
That's all you're getting out of me.
I wasn't gonna cut it out if he said
I know. Yeah, I knew that.
That's why he wasn't singing.
No.
So we're traveling to Australia, to a place that has been involved with Australia since the 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of death at this place, but some of the death led to changes that I wish the U.S. would make. That's all I'm going to say.
How many deaths we talking?
Well,
it must not have been that much.
No, it was a lot, but I'm trying to calculate. Like, if we calculate all in all...
Just give me like a full number, dude.
Well, in the cemetery, there's like over 1,000.
Oh my God.
But then in this one incident, there was 35 deaths.
Oh my God, that's so many.
Yeah, lots of dead. So, that's your hint of the week. Don't know yet if that's going to be a 1 or 2-parter. Jake's hoping for 2 parts because...
Possibly 3.
No, just 2.
16 pages that we got to get through? If you think I'm sitting here for 16 pages, then you know what you can do.
Yeah.
Man. It's not happening.
I might have gone a little crazy. I went and read like an entire psychological report that was like 80 pages on this one person and looked back at records from the 1800s. It was really fun. I had a great time.
Do you have a job?
No, this was when I was off of work.
Oh, excuse me.
Australia, I forget what library I was looking at, but they have the best online library. Because I was able to find, like, the archives. They had so many records in there. It was amazing. I sent my mom pictures, and I think she thought I was crazy because I was like, oh my God, look at this from 1897. But I was having a great time. Mainly because I'm a big nerd, as everyone now knows. All right, well, someone on our Instagram commented that you did the best outro, so you get to do it again.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, after you listen to this, go check us out on YouTube because we posted the same exact.
What if they're listening on YouTube already?
Thanks for listening. Okay. Whatever you're listening on, thanks for listening. Who gives a shit what else this is on? Because they're not listening to it again. Okay. Nobody gives a shit. You're going to listen to whatever you're listening to. You know, them guys on Amazon, you know, they listen to podcasts on Amazon.
Yeah.
So there's no need to check them out anywhere else.
No.
We have an Instagram. Well, excuse me. She has Instagram. I have the login information for the Instagram that I never use.
Oh my God.
Yeah, feel our email's in the description. Feel free to email us and tell me to frickin',
I was gonna say, tell me to go fuck myself.
I can't say it again.
But he was like, I can't say it. That's what you were gonna say.
I was thinking about it.
Oh my God.
I think I have pneumonia at 24. I'm still recovering. That's all I got. Thanks for listening.
Like, review, subscribe, rate. That's how other people will find us. Until next time, guys.
Yeah, see ya.
Bye.